Before we get into this next episode of the Work Area Podcast, just need to give a shout out to all the sponsors that help me do this podcast and help me race every week. KRM Hot Shots, the crew that never stops so you don't have to. We specialise in express delivery of parts and products to the mining sector anywhere in Australia. Fast, reliable and on the road 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. When it needs to be there now, call KRM Hot Shots. Bunbury Toyota, family owned and operated since 1973. They've got new and used vehicles plus service and parts all in the one spot. Go and see the team at Bunbury Toyota for your next car, just like I did when I bought the Hilux. I saw John, had the car in a few weeks. Easy, easy, easy. Jolly Good Auto Electrics. If you need anything auto electrical, in-car, audio or entertainment, this is your one-stop shop. Go and see Trevor and the boys at 141B Grayson Highway in Bellevue. If you need a new stereo, Apple CarPlay or even a two-way, they'll sort you out. QV. These guys are the leaders in premium automotive electrical gear. Whether it's mining, off-road, 4x4, transport or marine, performance and quality is what they do. Check out the full range online at qv.com.au. That's qvee.com.au. Platinum Tiger Insurance. Specialise in insurance brokerage, claims management and risk service, and they tailor everything to suit you. Dylan Peniza is with Platinum Tiger, and I honestly can't recommend him enough. He's my insurance broker, answers the call, goes above and beyond, and he's the best in the game. Find him online, Platinum Tiger Insurance, or come see me in the pits and I'll put you in touch with him. TPE Group, first sponsor to ever jump on board the podcast. Obviously wouldn't be here without him. Gives us the office, lets me come and go as I please. Ripper team. All Talk Engineering. Jared and the crew at All Talk are your one-stop shop for anything engine related. Have a look around the pits. You'll see his sticker on heaps of cars. He helps a lot of people get out there on the track, so support him if you can. If you want to win, go see Jared and the team and get the All Talk edge. Just remember, all these guys actually help heaps of people out as well, not just me. So remember, support those who support the sport. Let's get into it.
Same in my player HQ, mate. I'm just a lowercase kind of bloke.
Yeah, that is actually the best way I've ever heard to describe you, mate. All right. The Powerpalooza recap here for the Work Area Podcast. We've got Nicholas Rowe and Brandon Sharpe here with us to break everything down. It's going to be a huge show, so stick with us. Controversy everywhere, suspicious calls from the officials. Yeah, it's got everything, this podcast. We're going to try and keep our Speedway Australia licenses because we're all trying to race in 2 weeks, but we'll see how we go. So, as usual, quickly, the sponsors, I'm hoping to be able to edit them back in properly at the start, but KRM Hot Shots, Jolly Good Auto Electrics, QV, Platinum Tiger Insurance, Bunbury Toyota, TPE, and All Talk Engineering. Yeah, with us to break it down is the Rowe Show. We had about 9 cancellations, and he's 10th in line. So, joining me and Brandon Sharpe in studio for the 4th or 5th time is the Rowe Show. Absolutely stunk it up on the weekend, but I guess break down your weekend. You had the new format, Rowie, with the qualifying and stuff like that. First of all, how was that?
Yeah, it was a lot different. Harry Stewart tried to kill himself after he went across the finish line there at qualifying right in front of me when he ran over the back of old Johnny there, where Johnny was his first race eventing and just learning how it all works. And then, Harry tried to kill himself right in front of me and then qualified third, and then that was pretty average, just made a prick of myself. And then in the first heat was pretty solid, and even the dash didn't drive the best, and the car was a little bit off. And then, just had a couple of little gremlins issues that, couldn't proceed to go any further in the A main.
Right, so what happens with the podcast, mate? You need to explain it. So qualifying. Obviously, how many laps did you get before you had to send it?
Nah, so it was like straight away. I heard it was meant to be 5 laps, but we only done 3. Well, we done 1 lap, and then the white flag was out. So I hit a wet patch, half spun, and then Harry Stewart ran over Johnny, and boat all checked up, and it was chaos. It was like 6 of us trying to set a good lap in about a 30-metre space, so that was a smart move. And then the heat race, happy days, just got the lead and cruised along. The car was mint, and then in the dash, started on the pole and just kind of ran second the whole race. Never really had much for Caden. And then in the feature, just Uncle Slick threw a huge slider and he was on.
He was gone.
Yeah, he was on. And then, Caden and him had a bit of a battle there for a bit, and I went in between them there for the first couple of laps, or first lap, second lap, something like that. And then the motor started getting up a bit odd again. So, just called it because hopefully it got a full season ahead of us.
What about that heat race, mate? 4-second win. But Brandon, were you there for the heat race, the very first one for the Speedcars?
Nah, I reckon I was rolling up the hill just as that must have finished. Like I could hear the midgets out there. But yeah, I reckon I just missed the heat race. But yeah, I heard you gave him a hiding, Rowie.
What about that smoke, mate? That smoke is ridiculous, mate. For them to let any races go on like that, the Formula 500s had it as well. Like, there is a safety element to it, mate. You can barely see, even watching it back on the coverage. Like, Rowie, what was it like? Could you actually see out there? How hard was it to see?
Yeah, it was pretty tough. Like it about lap 4, I was kind of trying to look at the big screen to see if I had any gap, and I could tell that I had a bit of a gap, but it was getting real bad by like lap 6 or 7. It was pretty, like, especially the front straight was so heavy, and I was like, surely they're going to call the yellow, but in my head I was thinking, do not call the yellow, because I was thinking it turn into a bit of a shit mixer here, and I'll have to battle for my life to win. But yeah, it was pretty bad there towards the end of the race.
Well, so that smoke was genuinely bad enough that you thought them like they might throw the yellows up because you can't see.
Yeah, I thought there was honestly like a 90% chance they'd throw the yellow. It was pretty hard to see on the front straight.
Far out. And then the dash. What's that dash format like in the midgets, mate?
Yeah,
Like
it was something different.
6 laps. Can you get much going in 6 laps?
Not well. I didn't then. You probably can, but like mainly once Caden blew me doors off, I kind of just tried to settle into a rhythm. But then like Dan was like half sliding me, and I could tell that they were kind of close. And then I was just like, oh, all you got to do is just kind of hit your line for a couple of laps, and then just cover yourself on the last lap. So you can kind of race. It'd be really good if obviously it was close for the lead, because obviously it'd make a bit of a difference starting on pole and that. So I don't know. I rated it, but it'd be good to see the other people in the category get the same laps as well.
Well, so if you're not in the top 8, you just get 1 heat and a feature.
Yeah. That's it. You just get 1 heat and you get the 3 laps of qualifying, and that's it. But I know that they're having a meeting about this, so we'll wait and see. But yeah, even if I wouldn't even mind if it's 1 week on where they have the front row doing the front 6 or 8 doing it, and then the following week they have from 8 to 18th doing a dash in case, and like just
like a mid pack.
Yeah.
Because I guess maybe qualifying sort of like a race.
Yeah, it's a bit different to how they do on the sprint cars though, because wherever you finish in your actually that could be, I'm pretty sure it is. But if you finish in the top 4 in your heat, you start like 1st, 3rd, 5th, 7th. And then if you finish top 4 in the second heat, you start 2nd, 4th, 6th, 8th. So it doesn't really count on points. It's just where you finish in your heat.
Yeah.
So,
and what about you, Sharpe? You're spinning the spanners on a little speed car in the shed. When are you dragging that thing out?
It gets nervous.
I might be the world's longest speed car build, but it's actually ready to go. Like, we fired it off and it's all running. But yeah, it's just hasn't hit the track just yet. So we'll get it out this season and have at least a couple of runs. That's the plan. But
probably.
Obviously.
You've got a running speed car in the shed, mate.
As silly as this might sound, we're just focusing on the Wingos again this year. So get that over and done with. But yeah, if we get to have a couple runs, which is the plan, then happy days.
And then obviously just with you on the weekend, mate, no racing for you, but you got out to dirt trackers there with the young fella. I guess maybe give his tyres a bit of a pump up, and it's a wicked little setup out there. I've sort of the first time I've gone out there and sort of opened my eyes and had a look, but it's a mini speedway. Like, it is. The first thing I thought was like Glenn Bean and Jason Pride and all them, and they're running till 1 o'clock the night before, and then 7:30 in the morning they're out at dirt trackers.
Yeah. There's a few baggy eyes getting around, that's for sure. I reckon a few people were a bit dusty, but yeah, no, it's wicked out there. Like, it's a good setup. Obviously, they closed it down there for a little while a few years back, apparently. But yeah, it's all back up and running now. So I think they had like 160 something nominations or something like that, I think. But
just quickly, is that doubled up? You know how people do 2 classes? So it's 160 people or 160 carts?
That's 160 people. So, but
far out.
Yeah, most people who are racing more than 1 class obviously have more than 1 cart. So yeah, I'd say it'd be pretty close.
All right, we'll get. That's the little chit chat out of the way. Like, let's rip the lid off this thing and get stuck in. We'll start. I'll do it sort of how the race night went along. It's obviously, first of all, I was a little late to the party. KRM Hot Shots sort of launched on me a little bit early, so I left at lunchtime, got up to Mount Magnet and back in time for the feature races. So, yeah, KRM Hot Shots, mate. You don't mess around. But, yeah, it's just good to be back at the Speedway, eh? Like, it's finally here. It's a long winter and we're back. Like, yeah, it's sort of the first cab off the rank. It's the speed cars. And, yeah, I've got the results up here if you boys want to talk about the results. But I guess start with yourself there, Sharpie. What are your sort of overall thoughts on the speed cars? You might have been looking at it from a bit of a different lens because you're gonna get out there and compete against these guys at some point. What'd you sort of think, and what are your takeaways from the speed car night?
Yeah, I think like first of all, I think the numbers. What'd you have, like nearly 20 cars or over 20 cars?
18.
Yeah, 18, yeah. Which is pretty good. I think that was the most we've ever had on opening night in 7 years, I think.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like that's probably the first thing I noticed. And like when we got there, we parked in the row in the pits or just in the car park there where the speed cars were, and like they filled like the whole row. And I was like, far out. There's definitely a few cars here. So yeah, that's probably the first thing I noticed. But yeah, even like the racing, obviously I missed the first heat, which was the main one, I guess.
Didn't miss much, mate.
Yeah, tape it off.
But yeah, even like throughout the night, and yeah, I was sitting with a couple of mates on the hill there, and when the track's like that, you know when the midgets are going fast because like you can just hear the motors, like you know they're giving them a hiding, you know. So, but yeah, no, wicked racing. Obviously, cool to have Caden come over again, and I reckon it'll be good for the boys to race against him. You know, he's obviously the benchmark at the moment now. So yeah,
well, it's just good that Travis White's getting him over because I had a quick chat with him and you don't think about it much, but Sydney's shutting down. He's Australia one. Like the investment into his program and stuff like that to have the track that you invest all that money for just dissipate. Like it's just a nightmare scenario almost. So yeah, Travis White and then even Harry Stewart has to come over and Graham Jones as well. And I'm sure we'll touch on Harry. But yeah, it's a blessing for us because there's just a quality racer in the field. But Caden, man, he's kissed on the dick a little bit to get the opportunity. Like he deserves it. He's A1 and stuff, but he must be so stoked he gets to come over and race here.
Oh yeah, definitely. I reckon, you know, having the opportunity to jump in someone else's gear at any point is probably the dream as a race car driver, you know, especially gear like that. Yeah, they obviously put out, you know, it's top quality equipment. So yeah, I reckon it's pretty cool that he gets to come over here. And like you said, Travis brings him over. So I assume he's coming back for the title.
Yeah, he's going to try and do every round, it sounds like. Sounds like he's not really, not to speak for him, but it sounds like he's going to prioritise this series and yeah, put all that effort into it. And just with that, Rowie, do you sort of know what Travis's gear is like? It obviously is fast as all hell. It presents well, like it's good gear.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, he's always been one to pride himself on his gear, and there's never been a time that he's ever brought a race car to the track where it's not in the top probably 3 or 4 best cars in the pits. So, yeah, it's good to have Caden here, and especially him driving a solid car. If you can run with him here, you're somewhat doing something right.
What about that track then, Rowie? Like, I know you only got a couple laps in the feature race, but was it a little bit more hooked up than what you would like, or how did the track play out for the speed cars?
Really weird. Like usually, I know I use the race there a lot, but usually you know how slick it gets coming off turn 2. It was one of them rare times where from top to bottom coming off turn 2, there was drive the whole way, but entry on both corners was like slick marbly, and you couldn't. Well, I couldn't get a hold of it properly, but yeah, I was speaking to Graham Jones today as well, and Harry was having similar issues. Like he couldn't not get into the corner at all, but there was so much drive getting off the corner because top to bottom there was heaps, and it would just tighten up, and it was super loose on the way in because they had that slick marbly stuff.
Yeah, as you mentioned that, Cater said in his interviews he was loose in and tied off.
Yeah, Yeah, it was one of it was one of the rare tracks that the Motorplex gives you where it's like turn 2 was top to bottom. You could enter real low and just enter in the middle, and it'd still be very similar drive to just rail on the top, which usually it's either you're right on the curb or right on the fence.
Were you taking many lines different to what you usually do?
Yeah, definitely. Even in that heat, it was only probably 2/3 high, but you could run it wide open, and there was heaps of drive. And then in that dash, you had to run like basically only a car length off the curb because it wasn't slick, but it just didn't have that massive drive that you usually get, especially on the entry into the Motorplex. And then in the feature, like you could run the high pretty good in turns 1 and 2, but because you could bomb it in your own slide job, and because there was actually drive in the middle of the corner to the exit, you could hold the car like so low and get drive coming out.
Caden Brown obviously class of the field there and almost run away with it in the end, 3 seconds. Yeah, pretty dominant. Probably a little bit worrying for the rest of the field if he's that good straight away. And by his own admission, he probably wasn't that comfortable, and they'll be looking to make a few changes to that thing come the state title next round, round 2, Western Annapolis night. Second, not sure he's giving you stickers back from Adelaide, mate, but Keenan Fleming, just sort of a quiet night, mate. He sucked the stickers off in Adelaide, and then Caden ripped him back off again in the dash. But Keenan, good little result, mate. It's almost a little quieter result because early it was Robbo and yourself throwing everything at it, Dan Golding, Harry Stewart and all that. And then Keenan sort of snuck up on everyone. What'd you see with him, Sharpie?
Yeah, like you said, like I didn't really notice him until later in the race. Obviously, was so focused on that top 3 all for so long, and then like you say, he just sort of kept creeping up, and then just kind of come out of nowhere, sort of. To be honest, like where did he start? I don't actually.
Well, he crossed the line 4th, so he must have started. I think he must have started 5th because Robbo started out of 4. It was Caden out of 1, the show out of 2. Was it Harry Stewart out of 3?
Nah, was Dan Golding out of 3.
Dan Golding, Robbo. Then I'm assuming Keenan and probably Bo Doyle somewhere around there, I reckon.
I actually don't think Keenan made the. Yeah, Keenan didn't. No, I am losing the plot. Keenan started 5th. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so you're losing the plot.
Yep.
Yeah, no, so that's a great result for him as well. Like, mate, he showed some massive speed at the Aussie title, and then towards the end of the year, he was good. Like, and was it last year, mate? He just kept on having all those struggles with the engine at the start of the year.
Yeah, he's had a fair few engine issues in his time, especially last year. But even I think he would have been equal, or probably made the most spots up in the feature. And that's pretty, like, if you start in 5th, like, or 6th or wherever he started, it's pretty decent effort you're passing decent cars to move up from there. It's not like you start in 20th.
Nah, Sharpie, like you see, is Dan Golding rips, Robbo rips, Harry Stewart rips. Like, he's passed some good cars to get into 2nd. Just trying to look what his best lap is. 16.5. Caden's is a 16.5. So his best laps, his fastest laps are fast. Yeah, his 16.8 for Golding, 16.8 for Robbo, and a 16.581 for him, and a 16.55 for Caden Brown. So his best lap is good. It's like 0.3 faster than sort of the next best. So massive result for him. He'll be stoked for it. The mass drill and blast thing. It's a bit of a different look for him this year, but I don't mind it. And then in 3rd place, mate, you probably had a front row seat from when he just chucked it up inside you there in the first corner, mate. Sleek Rick himself, Jake Robbo, mate. Huge night for him. He's launched himself out of 4, took the lead out of 1, and sort of finished up in 3rd. But that's a massive result for him, Sho.
Yeah, no, definitely. Obviously, going to America with Buddha and everyone over there, Caden and Dan's obviously made a huge difference because, looked like a different driver out there.
Sharpie?
Yeah, no, I reckon definitely a lot more aggressive than what I'd seen from him before. And yeah, I thought for a while there he was on. He was challenging Caden, and then like you say, when he hit the front, he actually looked quicker there for quite a few laps, and then I don't know, just whether Caden just being more consistent for the whole race. He just slowly chipped away, and built that gap, and then obviously Keenan ran him down. But no, he definitely looked good. Probably one of the better drives that I'd seen from him, I reckon. So good early signs for those boys.
Well, would you put that drive for Robbo ahead of his Albany drive, right?
I'd have to be.
He won Albany, but he threw that slide on Caden. He drove the whole time good. Keenan just got him. He only was there, but podium at the Motorplex. So I wonder what he'd put ahead: his win in Albany or the podium there at the Motorplex against those two drivers.
Probably, I'd have to say probably that Motorplex against them too, because it's obviously a bigger field. I mean, in front of everyone there at the Motorplex, he obviously put in a lot of effort over the off season, going to America and doing that with everyone. So I would assume you would put that forward.
And just obviously with this race and the Albany one, there's just one sort of common denominator there, that he beat you in both of them.
I knew you were coming to that. Look like more time will come at some point, surely.
Yeah, right. Fourth place, Dan Golding, probably the highlight of his night. He was racy all night. He hasn't spent many laps in that seat at all. Like, I know he's been to a couple of practices. One of them, unfortunately, for no reason at all, one of his practices got cut short, which, we won't touch on that tonight. Might be the only thing we don't touch on tonight, that practice. But Dan, he was ripping. I could see him in the dash, like sort of coming right after you. A good drive for him, fourth. Like he would have liked to jump on the podium, I'm sure. But for Dan to first race back in a little bit, he's been jumping between the 410, the 360, and not so much the speed car at all. I wonder how hard it is to adjust there, Sharpie. Have you driven like many different classes like at all? Is it just the Wingos? Like, how hard do you reckon it would be for someone like Dan Golding to jump between the seats?
Yeah, it must be tricky. Like you say, like he probably only raced a handful of times last season in the midget.
I reckon 3 or 4.
Yeah, not very often. Yeah, I don't know. It must be hard, like especially in one of those things. Can't personally say yet, but hopefully we'll get there. But I feel like, especially on a track like that on the weekend, like even watching from the hill, like it just looked like hard work. Like I feel like, I don't know whether they're easier to drive on a slick track or not, or whether it's easier when it's hooked up like that. But like it just looked like majority of the field was struggling, especially in the feature as it went on. You could just see like a few cars making little mistakes more and more, except for Caden. But I don't know. It must be hard, especially like you say, first race back, only a couple of goes and short one.
And just quietly, a great sponsor of the show. I'll shout out QV. The fifth place, mate, and we'll dive through the top 5, I reckon, and then roll through the rest. Harry Stewart, Graham Jones Racing, in 5th place. Kept on saying that they'll battling some gremlins. He pulled in a couple of times. Any ideas what was what they were trying to iron out with that, Rowie?
Yeah, I spoke to Jonesy today. They had some issues with fuel. So, they've got some new, no guru, so they got some new fuel system where they can read the percentage or however you have to do it. And they're having some problems with that. And that's why they didn't start the dash. And then they actually pulled it off for the feature and it was all good. But when they went to go out for the feature, they were going to put a brand new right rear on and the nut like jammed on the wheel and they couldn't get it undone. So I'm pretty sure they just grooved it and sent it back out how it was. They couldn't do anything about it.
What would cause that, you reckon? It's just one of those things?
I don't know. I never really had much problem like that unless they absolutely hung off it and it just grabbed or something. What do you reckon, Sharpie?
Yeah, I can't say I've ever heard that before. Yeah, unless it's the nut somehow or... Yeah, that's a weird one.
Yeah,
Wait.
that was about all he had to say on the phone, yeah.
I'll just go through these. If you boys notice something or want to jump in on any of these fellas, jump in. But Rob Golding, watching his races, he was like a little bit racier than sort of would have thought first season and stuff like that. First race, sorry, of the season. He was actually pretty decent. And there's this sort of next pack that is pretty hotly contested. Rob Golding, William Douglas. He's got the All Talk Engineering donk in there, and geez, did that thing look good.
Yep, bloody oath. No, first
That
night.
was probably the car you could hear walking in, Sharpie, mate. The All Talk zing. Mate, did you hear that ding? That is Jared Culshaw himself messaging me. So Billy the Kid in 7th, Corey Smith in 8th, Alfonso Guadagnino. What's going on there, mate? At one stage, I thought, like, even in qualifying, he qualified pretty decent early.
He qualified pole.
Yeah, so I thought Alfonso and even Chris Dimmick would have been right there. There must have been some issues with the car because both of them are sort of right there on the knocking on the door of a podium. I would have thought between it's a team, isn't it? So Alfonso and Chris. Like any insight into them boys?
No, I just know that they didn't change much during the off season. They rocked back up. I was speaking to them at the media day, and they just ready to have another crack. Obviously, Chris has gone away from most of the Formula 500 stuff, so he's getting stuck into the speedcar stuff and loving it.
Couldn't blame him. Then Bo Doyle, did he? Yeah, he finished. Said he's finished dead last. No, it can't be right.
Don't know.
No, he just got lapped.
Yeah, I think he struggled a bit. He didn't seem to really go far after the dash and just struggled a bit all night.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's weird. I definitely would have had him higher than that. But yeah, that's a bad result for him and the team. And then obviously Vaughan Manders in the 57. The old boy sort of trucking away at the back. Johnny Terriaka. He I know you're learning. I could say he figured the break out. I feel bad.
Harry realised how to use the brakes too.
Talk about that then. Johnny in the 10, obviously coming in blind. Like he's literally got to learn everything, like how to start it, everything. He's coming in completely blind. He runs some street stocks, I think, but nothing open wheeler. How hard would it be to jump in the deep end like that, like Powerpalooza night 1? You got Buddha chirping in his ear, telling him to just mash it, put it on the fence, win by half a lap. Like how hard would it be for Johnny to jump in like that?
Yeah, it'd be pretty tough, I reckon. Even like just the little things like engine starts where there's all the sprint cars around you and all that kind of stuff. It'd be not terrifying, but it'd just be like, oh yeah, righto, what's happening here? And you got all the crowd and everything, and even just little things like knowing chutes and how it all works and where to pull up and all that kind of stuff creeps into the back of your mind. He's just trying to not do anything rash that's stupid. So then, yeah, obviously check flag comes out and he just lifts off as any other person would, and just a few things like that, bit different, like speed wise, how quick people can run up on people and stuff like that. So yeah, he'd be right. He's got the right bloke in his pocket, as in Buddha. So Buddha will teach him plenty, and yeah, he can keep pitting next to me anytime. He's a good bloke.
What about at the end of the night? You had a chat with him. What was his thoughts, and what was sort of the stuff he was coming to terms with or struggling with the most?
Yeah, I'd say like the biggest thing would just be the like I was just talking to him because I obviously was sitting on the infield like a crab, and they just holding his line. Like he never really done anything stupid other than one time he got like a little bit of drive off when they were coming around to lap him, and he kind of didn't get shocked, but he just kind of tried to just carry on with how he was going. But he held his line, didn't do anything dumb. And then you see people that are doing like just holding it flat and prepared to die that aren't even that far in front of him. So it makes a big difference if you just hold your line, get the car back on straight, you come back the next week and you just knock off all the little things, how the engine start works, which chute to go in, how it works for this and that and rah-de-rah.
What about you, Shabby? You reckon like half the battle to jump in the deep end like Johnny has done is like everything other than racing? Almost racing's the last thing you can concentrate on?
Yeah, like I was talking to him after the races, and like I grew up racing juniors all back then. So yeah, but he, like he said, he goes, it was just like exactly what you guys said, just learning all that you need to do, all the processes, and then yeah, like you say, the race, the last thing you got to do. And I think he said to me in the feature, he goes, "Fuck, about lap 6," he goes, "I was ready to pull in because I was." And that looked like hard work out there from the crowd, there's top few boys obviously make it look easy, but yeah, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be.
No. And then another newcomer, I'm assuming, Lockie Marshall, Isaiah Matic. Isaiah's been there for a year or two now. Patrick Watson obviously had an issue. You had a chat with him on the infield, Rowie, or you big dog him?
Nah, I didn't big dog him. I just didn't get out of my car. I was a bit of a sook there.
Okay. Yeah, so that's it. Then obviously, Joel Watson never took it, mate. So obviously a decent start to the year for speed cars. Nothing sort of big. No bingles, no nothing like that. Obviously, how much does it hurt your points then for the track championship and stuff like that with the DNF? You obviously start off pole, so you probably wouldn't be hideous in points, but 5th, 6th overall, something like that.
Yeah, be back only due to the fact because I'm pretty sure features double or triple points at least, I'd say. So yeah, I'll be back a bit. We'll be right.
All right, now we're into probably what most people are listening for. The we won't do sprint cars. We'll do the Formula 500s next because that was sort of the order of it. The Tarantula, Cody Taraccio obviously wins, mate. That car of his seems to be better than anyone. Almost looks like it could drive itself at some stages. Like I've seen him launch off the line once. I want to speak. He wheelied but when he wheelied, he's obviously smashing the element. And I would query. It's obviously not Cody's fault, but firstly, the thing is, it's got enough power to wheelie in a Formula 500. It was good going. And then, when he banged into element, I thought he'd probably get sent to the rear. Like it's no different to doing anything else and bumping someone in because they caused a yellow and it went back. So a lot of incidents throughout the heat races and stuff like that in this one. And as I sort of get to the names, I might speak about it. But Cody almost faultless all night. I reckon it might be a long season for the rest of them because that big Yoshimura white and pink and yellow sort of beast is going to take some beating.
Yeah, even in that heat race where I was sitting there before we went out for qualifying, I think he started at least mid-pack further back, but he was the only one that could cut back and almost drive through where the puddles were and get past people. Yeah, that's what I was saying to Trav. I was like, is he cutting back, coming off turn 2 and turn 4? And he was like, yeah, he's cutting back. And I was like, as soon as I tried to do that in the speed car, it's no good. But yeah, it must be, unbelievable.
Yeah, that thing's a class of the field. Do you know anything about him, Sharpie?
Not a lot, to be honest. Don't know him personally or anything, but yeah, obviously, he's been one of the dominant forces, I guess, in that category for a number of years now. And like you say, that motor and that thing seems to fairly rip. So
yep, hooks up. Then one of the All Talk alumni, Stephen Element, obviously Jared Culshaw on the tools, had the thing tuned right up. He had a bit of an unlucky night throughout the whole thing. He had an incident there with Matt Brown in one of the heats where Brown just drove into the back of him, spun him. Stevie Element gets sent to the rear for God knows why. I've got no idea why. Matt Brown held his spot, whatever. But with all of that, how Stephen gets sent to the rear is just mind blowing to me. This is probably one of the calls that I noticed throughout the evening that just didn't make any sense, and it may be to the letter of the law. These incidents, I'm not too sure, and I'll speak about a heap of them throughout the night, but they're just not consistent with what we've seen ever, really. That's an odd call to be punted up the rear so hard you spin and then you get sent to the rear and the person who punched you. And I'm hoping to overlay some of the footage on here just to sort of highlight what was going on. And are you back with us, big man?
Yeah, I just had to get a phone charger.
Oh, okay.
It's a late call up, so I'm charged.
It was, mate. Well, I went through about 6 before we got to you. But yeah, I guess it's about Stevie Element obviously bounced back for a second place. Geez, that thing looks nice. He's got a brand new big JTR trailer. How nice is that Stevie Element too? Look.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure that's a brand new chassis for this season. I think from memory. So he's moved over to those E1s, I think they are. Or I don't really know much about them, but yeah, no, the livery on it looks mint this year. And I mean, he always turns out a nice looking car, like even over the last few seasons. And like you say, new trailer. Well, so I was actually talking to him today. I think he turned up on Tuesday, like the
Really?
week. Yeah. So he's he said he literally turned up on Tuesday, and then he's hauled the big girl down there. So yeah, he hit me up today. He's got to get a suspension upgrade in that big girl. She's must be a bit too heavy for the Ranger.
If you needed a suspension upgrade, where do you reckon you should go?
The boys down at Petter's Suspension and Brakes Rockingham, they'll sort you out.
I've heard plenty of good stuff about that. And then Brendan Marshman, sort of a quiet night. Like there was a lot of incidents throughout those heat races, and Brendan sort of trucked his way into a third place. So didn't really notice him throughout the night too much, but yeah, decent result for him. I know he put a bit into an engine program and stuff like that last year, so another good result for him. Do you guys know Brendan at all?
Nah, I don't know too much about him, I just seen he's been racing them for a while, so that's about it.
And then fourth place, Matty Brown. We spoke about him. A few incidents with him. Yeah, he got punted a couple of times himself and returned the favour to some other people. But I think him and Reese Cummings had a few incidents that they banged into each other and pushed each other around. And
I was so surprised by that Stewart decision where they ran into each other and then no one even got put to the back and there was a yellow. So I was like,
yeah, in that first heat, yeah. Yep, not
weird.
sure. Like a full stoppage, everyone just goes back to wherever.
Yeah.
Like someone crashed someone. Yep, so yeah, I don't know, mate. I don't know. But yeah, Reese Cummins, mate, fair play. I remember he won that state title there running the top and it looked like he was at least having a look up there because it's unless maybe there might be intricacies with the Formula 500 so I'm not aware of and maybe if I was educated a little bit more, could be a little bit more interesting. But yeah, it's sort of there just doesn't seem to be generally too much passing. There's a big gap between first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Like, yeah, there's just they don't pass too much. Like, yeah, maybe we'd be a little bit more interested if Farman, the 29 Thomas Davies, was poking the nose up the front, but he hasn't done much lately. We need him to return to that state title winning form. What's he up to, Rowie?
Maybe the old Chrome Dome top off that he's got not treating him well, but I know he's been doing the training. I see he's been doing a few marathons and that, and I was having a beer with him up at the bar after, and he did have a motor issue in the feature, which he had to pull off. He reckons he may have spun a bearing or done something like that, which would be a shame. But he, yeah, I don't know. He's going to try climb up Gero this weekend and have another crack at it. He pulled the sump off it the other day and had a look at it. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll wait and see. Maybe he had a bit of scorching on the pistons. Who knows?
Maybe he didn't do enough checking. Maybe he didn't check his pistons enough. Clean those pistons up.
These things happen.
And what about you? You had any involvement at all, Sharpie, with the Formula 500s or?
No, not a great deal. Nothing hands on with them anyway. Obviously, sort of you have a look at them and that sort of thing. But like, there's some nice cars in that division now, and it's like anything in any division. I think if you spend the money, then it helps you get the results. So, but yeah, not too sure what's
Well, I've got to give them some prices on those cars, mate. Sort of like the top 4 to 5 is like north of 100.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think there's a fair bit in the motors.
Yeah, 60-ish in the motors. But yeah, they spend the money, and yeah, I feel like for that money you could get into a speed car. Is that fair money wise, Roy?
Yeah, you could definitely even though the cars are worth more than 100 grand, no one's ever going to pay 100 grand for them. So you could definitely race I would say a solid speed car for 60 grand, probably. I'd say 70 grand.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into the next event on the card. What we all sort of went down there for. Probably didn't disappoint. Well, the race wasn't actually amazing, but the stuff happening everywhere around that. Oh, here we go. What's he up to here? And then everything around that was pretty crazy. So in the sprint cars, I guess, so the heat race, they were hot on those restarts, like stuff that we generally in the past would have seen the starts would have been just let go. There was some stuff that, yeah, maybe a couple of jumped, a couple of like, I was really surprised that they put people back. Yeah, did you sort of notice a massive difference in how they were adjudicating those starts, Sharpie?
Yeah, I think like you say, there's obviously a bit of talk going around of some of the decisions, but yeah, I guess it's maybe that's the precedent they're going to set for the year, you know. So I think it'll be interesting to see if they're consistent going forward now for the rest of the meetings. But yeah, like you say, definitely seemed a lot more onto it than the past couple of seasons. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I think there's some, I don't know how the sport's that old. It's been around. There's that much knowledge within the pits, but it just doesn't seem to be utilised like it should. I think they're still trying to make changes to those high speed things in the tank, like where they want them to mount them to. They don't want them mounted hard, or maybe they do want them hard mounted now to the back of the chassis. Or it's like so clearly the initial decision wasn't what it would be. If they need to make changes again, I just feel like you leave it as it was, because you have 100 crashes where no one's caught on fire, but you've got one that has, and you react to the one. But now the stuff that you implemented in order to rectify that one out of 100 incident is no longer good enough. Like, so have you been putting people at risk since that time? Like, it just seems crazy that the high speed stuff on the back of the line, and for those that don't know, there's effectively a fuel line coming out, and it looks like what are those things at the car yards where the men are like floating with their arms, or big blow up men's? That's what they look like. There's fuel line, fuel return line, or high speed line, whatever it is, just wobbling around on the back of some of these tanks. And yeah, I don't care if you boys don't want to say anything, you know, or whatever, but I'm happy to crack in. But yeah, it looks silly. Obviously, they're still making changes on it, so like whatever they made initially is not good enough, because they've got to make changes again.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure the Speedcars, they just mount them how the old sprint car stuff used to be. So, I mean, if it's safe enough for a speed car that's pretty much not enclosed, and I would say more dangerous if you hurt yourself, then surely it's good enough for a sprint car.
Well, my thoughts on it is that, yeah, again, however many crashes we had last year, like I understand there's the one with Dylan Menz at the Motorplex where he caught on fire, but then now I feel bad because I can't recall his name, but the fella that was it Brenton Guerin in Darwin that had the crash in that second bullseye car. Not sure. Anyway, the fella caught in Darwin that caught on fire, and that had the new thing. So you've got 1 and 1. Like, do they change back? Like, I'm not sure, but yeah, to still be making changes, like it should just be done. Like they should not make any changes till they're fully happy with whatever change they're trying to implement. Like, speak to Kim Buzzy, speak to Glenn Beaton, these people that have mounted legitimately 150 to 200 tanks, fuel lines, like versus the people that are making decisions. Like, I'm sure they're qualified, but to not even engage or seek advice from people that do it legitimately for a living just seems, yeah, like you maybe not investigated or done everything you possibly could to make sure that the stuff's safe. And that's just the high-speed fuel line. There's obviously a raft of other changes. So throughout the night with the sprint cars, we obviously seen the return of the traction control device. Yeah, obviously highly publicised this time last year. There's obviously all those reported issues with the engines and stuff like that. I know Williamson's had issues. I know James Inglis had issues this time last year. I'm talking about. Yeah, just uncomfortable a little bit with that. Like, obviously I've got no skin in the game and stuff like that, but it just seems to be they have a lot of issues surrounding this device with reported power issues, with potential engine fails as a result of it, for 0 people caught. Like, and is that, I don't know, people aren't cheating and they've just brought it in? Are people cheating and they just can't seem to catch them, even though it's been on probably every car in the pits? So just, Yeah, it seems crazy, and then that obviously culminated in the 71. Being unable to fire. So I'm not sure how much any of us should probably say on that at the moment, because I think there's some stuff happening behind the scenes, and either way, I wouldn't want to jeopardize anything. But there's some stuff that's reportedly happened to Caden, which if it is what it's reported, I probably don't agree with at all. But yeah, I'm happy to leave that. But one thing I do want to talk about with Caden is obviously how good he was throughout all the night. But the feature race, mate. One of those feature race, again, bewildering. He's leading. Can't remember who passed him on the outside, but he sort of half changed his line and bobbled a little bit, but went from sort of the middle of the track to the bottom. Keynes committed in, and he got a good run, and Keynes collected the back of him and spun. But then Caden got sent to the rear. And I'm like, well, Caden's in front. He can effectively do whatever he wants. Like, he didn't stop. He didn't cause the accident. Like, I had that exact incident a couple of times last year where it's my mistake. Like, but yeah. Do you remember that incident with Caden, Sharpie, where he got sent to the rear?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, and like you say, it was kind of like I don't know whether he was trying to like diamond off the corner or not, but yeah, it was kind of like he checked up a little bit, and then obviously the back of him, and they kind of caused that yellow. So I don't know, it's hard. Like, sometimes you see those calls go the way that they did, not favour Caden, but I feel like more often than not, the person who's at the front just stays where they are, So yeah, I don't know. That's probably another hard one, which will be, again, interesting to see how, because that's going to happen again, like that's going to happen more. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting if it stays consistent.
Well, probably jumped ahead a little bit because it's sort of fired me up. But I guess we'll go back to qualifying. Obviously, Caden was quick time. Track looks good. I don't know. I'm almost a fan of them getting to qualify on a track proper, if that makes sense. Like, a couple of times within the last couple of years, they're going out in the slick, and obviously the first couple of cars that do go out are at a distinct disadvantage, having to actually go around on like mud, and then the last cars get better. But I feel like, given the stakes involved in the Maddington Toyota Series, given everyone as even a playing field as you possibly can get, with like letting a couple of heats go before them, I think that's a better format. Is that something you agree with, Sharpie?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's because I think because Caden was in the second group, I'm pretty sure.
Let's have a look.
Was he
qualifying one?
Yeah.
Okay. First car's out as well.
Yep.
So, like you say, like like normally you see the cars that early on in qualifying disadvantaged, because like you say, usually the track is a bit iffy that early in the night. But yeah, I feel like from a spectator point of view on the weekend, it was fairly consistent, for all three groups. So yeah, I think that they did that well, putting some racing on beforehand, definitely.
Yeah. Yep. I guess, well, is there anything else like throughout the heats or the dashes that you sort of want to speak about? Because I think that the feature race is going to take up a little bit of a time. So if you boys have anything from them, jump in.
I think JD had a pretty good run in that one heat where he was on the bottom making something different work. I mean, I didn't get to see it live, but I watched the replay, and I mean, he at least made something different work, and that's kind of how the track was that night. You could make it work at least.
He was chasing down Coyle. That's obviously that heat.
Yeah, I think so.
Nearly got him. Yeah, well, that's the only thing I want to talk about, the heats. Like, that's one of the most bewildering penalties that I've seen. Chris Coyle sort of gets a really good run around the outside of Craig Bottrell. Craig Bottrell gets off the corner, and just it seemed to be from particularly watching the replays, when people were getting out of 4, it was almost like what 2 usually is. It's slick, and then like they come out with plenty of speed, and then it just lights itself up. That sort of happened to Craig Bottrell, and he just sort of lit it up a little bit. Excuse me. And Chris was just carrying so much momentum behind him. Craig sort of stopped accelerating at the same rate that he was, and Chris sort of got into the back of him, backs off, and didn't pass him or anything, just bumped him. And he ends up getting a run on him, but he was a fair bit quicker than him anyway. So the pass was probably always coming, but just literally just bumped him, and then Chris gets relegated 2 spots from that, and thought, far out. That's a standard that you're going to have to adhere to for the rest of the year now, because otherwise it is unfair. Because how many times does someone bump someone in a feature race or a race at all? And I'll hopefully I can overlay it here, or if anyone wants to go back and watch that first heat. Did you see that either in the replays or in real time, Sharpie?
No, I don't think I do remember seeing that.
But you might have watched it and not even noticed it happened, honestly.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure
it's really tiny.
sprint car heat, so yeah, I don't actually remember seeing that.
Did you see it on the replay, Roy, or?
Oh, I've seen it, but I didn't take too much because it was just in my head. I just thought it was nothing, like in what I thought had happened. So, but obviously it was more than what I thought, or the way he saw it was a lot different. I'll be the first to admit I've done worse on the racetrack, but yeah.
Well, honestly, mate, it's like you wouldn't have won the John Day. Like what Chris did was nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you threw that little slider and tapped Pickens to win the John Day, like you would have got relegated 2 spots under that interpretation of the rule. Which, yeah, again, if that's the interpretation, and maybe that's the letter of the law, that's how it may happen, and we just haven't seen it before. But if they're to adjudicate the rest of the year like that, mate, like, because if I was Chris Cole and someone tapped me, I'm taking that camera straight up, going, you relegate, because look at my tap. This is the same. Like, and that's the thing, everyone. And we'll speak about a few other incidents coming up. Like, but that's just the standard that's been set. And if you don't apply that rule to everyone, well, then that's when unfair comes in. The stakes are high. These people, are doing it, and I'll speak about it a bit more. But yeah, it just seems odd to be that heavy-handed at the start of the year, which sets a precedent for the rest. But into the feature race, sort of a surprise with how he was. Like I didn't think I seen ends from the winner, Callum Williamson, that made me think, like, Callum's here. You know, generally you watch Callum and he fucking does something in the dash or a heat or something that you just like, this bloke is next level. When even in the feature, like, he just steadily picked him off. Like, I just think he was just to win and not maybe have the best night I've seen him have in a fair long time. I think that's a tip of the cap to him, and it's a good effort. Like, is that how you guys sort of seen Callum's night play out? Just steady, and then all of a sudden he's doing donuts?
Yeah, definitely. You go, Sharpie. You go.
Yeah, I think, like, definitely he because I think he starts 7th, 8th from memory.
Deep.
Obviously he had, those couple of things go his way, and then I think it must have been on that 2nd or 3rd restart, he must have been in the top 4, I think.
Yep.
And then eventually, like you say, like, obviously, didn't do anything spectacular, but just chipped away. He got to the lead, I think. Just sort of settled in, and it was probably his race to lose. So
I'm not sure if the results are like, obviously a few of the leaders in Dane Kingshot, Chris Coyle, obviously didn't get finished where they were, and then Caden, with the issues that he had, he was off pole. So there were technically 3 cars, but he looked pretty decent. So I think that's a massive start for Carl Williamson, the owner, which I'm going to try and name all the owners when I can. But Carl and the whole Williamson Motorsport team, they got that new Elevate trailer there with all the merch and stuff like that. And I got my ass kicked, mate, because I promised the boys I'm coming home with 2 new Hot Wheels shirts, and I got there too late, and it just all got a bit big on me, and I didn't get it. Mate, they woke up the next morning and those shirts weren't on the back of their bed, and it was a shit fight. And then, all aboard the worm wagon, mate. That's what we're trying to coin it for Taylor Milling, mate. The fast worm. Gartho, one of the fellas that sort of hits me up all the time on the Work Area Podcast social stuff, sort of coined the term the worm wagon, mate. So he's all aboard, I'm all aboard, and and we're going to try and ride this thing to a championship. So we'll see what happens. I've got the pale ale mustard there. I had a toasted sambo that Taylor and Jody sort of illuminated me too. So it's a beautiful little setup that they got me going on. But yeah, T Millie, the Worm qualified really well. Just put together a solid night without obviously, same as Callum, sort of never had to really push himself. He sort of looked like he had a handful of a car and it was wheeling off the inside line, and there wasn't like a rut that I was grabbing. It was just hooked up. Like, yeah, I guess what did you notice about Taylor's feature race there, Rowie?
Mainly, you just come from a fair way back, to be fair, and never really. There was a lot of people that were trying to smash down the boards, and I think you noticed it more because when Dane and Caden and that went to the back, you could tell they were trying so hard to not so hard, but there was the only line that they could run where they could make any ground was running the high line, and Taylor was, in my opinion, was only one of the people that could make it high and low.
Yep.
So I mean, I think he started about 10th, maybe 12th around there. So he was one of the only ones that could really like settle into it. Callum started like 7th or 8th, and yeah, still come forward. But I mean, for Taylor to come from there and use both parts of the track a lot easier than what most did, obviously, is pretty impressive start of the year.
And he ran the middle as well there. I reckon he got done by, well, not done, but as Brad Maiolo was catching him, he sort of had to move off the very bottom and to run the middle, and then he got quicker and sort of it pulled away from him. So he ran the top, run the bottom, run the middle. Obviously, yeah, Scott Milling and Taylor Milling, they're the owners of that car. They got Beto on the spanners. They keep it simple. They're at the top of their game at the moment. But yeah, a massive start for Taylor, and right at the wrongs of last year's 4 DNFs in a row last year, culminating in a broken back. But yeah, he's back in the car, and more importantly, he's back on the course, banging them down. He went over to South Australia and absolutely pillaged a few of those golf comps, which sort of frowned upon in the golfing circles to roll in with a 48 cap or whatever he's rolling. But yeah, decent for Taylor. And 3rd place, Daniel Harding, quiet achiever of the night. Like, if I spoke about Callum sort of not ever looking like he set the world on fire, Dan's come from 11th to get a 3rd. He's picked off Brad Maiolo at the end. I guess just a steady night, but like he does, he's just a workhorse. He can drive that car anywhere. He can run whatever line he wants. It's a cracking night for the Trevor Jolly Racing 18 Daniel Harding.
Yeah, definitely a good way to start the year for him. I mean, obviously, seen all the interviews leading up to the year and that, and he had a bit of an average, not an average, just an unlucky year last year. And yeah, just to set it off, start the season well. And obviously, Trevor Jolly puts in so much to the sport, so he'd be stoked a couple of beers up in the bar for him, and start the season well.
In the box, mate. Trevor doesn't.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say the box. I didn't want to be like that.
Massive sign up, mate. It says Trevor Jolly Racing, mate. He's not in the bar with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you reckon, Daniel Harding? Is that sort of similar to you, Sharpie? Just like, he obviously drove good, so I'm not trying to take it away, but it's not like 11-3 is a massive run, but it's like, something in the Motorplex where someone drives like that, generally they're hanging off the wall and just pounding it. But like, he just picked him off. Like, I seen him running. He was running the low line for a majority of the race, and he just kept picking him off.
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, quite achiever. And once the race actually finished, I wasn't even paying attention to 3rd place, and I said to the people I was sitting with, I was like, fuck, did Dan get 3rd then? And they're like, yeah, he got on the podium. So yeah, that team, they've got all good gear, and I feel like even last year, when they're on, everything's going right for them, I feel like they're one of a hard card to beat, So hopefully, yeah, that's good signs for them. And obviously they had a few issues last year, I think, and things out of their control and stuff like that. But yeah, hopefully that's good signs for them. Early on in the year is a good thing. So hopefully,
he never struggles with speed early on. He was obviously winning this race last year when he sort of couldn't make up his mind where to go or whatever actually happened there with that, and he's got into the back of Cherokee when he had that race wrapped up, mate. There was no one catching him that night. Like, he was that quick. yeah, so he sort of starts the season a little bit better this year than what he did last year. Yeah, another fellow who got to gain some positions fourth, Brad Mayolo. Yeah, good night. Just the luck of the draw, mate. Like, he was coming on. He was catching Taylor. He was looking to pass Taylor in second. I can't remember who was on the inside, but Taylor sort of found the middle and pulled away from him. But Brad was like looking to take second with 6 laps to go. There's a restart, and then he gets fourth. Like, it's just, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm assuming he'd be happy-ish with the night, but, 6 laps to go, he's thinking he's probably going to get second. But decent night for him again, like plenty of experience. He knows how to wheel a car. Won't be the last time he's banging down the door or a podium this year. And he was good all last year as well. Like, once they sort of found whatever they were sort of struggling with. I found like Brad got some speed. He obviously won that first race that he had. Yeah, so I think it's Pete Capon, great man. I was meant to catch up with him as well, but I think he's on the tools, and he's on the tools, and he knows as much as anyone, mate, and he spins spanners as good as anyone. So he'll have that 77 tuned up for the Western Atlas, and they'll come out swinging, I reckon. But yeah, one of the good drives of the night, obviously got sent to the rear. Dane Kingshot, he's in 5th place. Where did he get back to? Obviously he was leading. Gets set back to 16th. Pulled a sick wheelie when he got sent to the rear. He revved that thing up, and up she popped. But I guess it's probably the time to talk about that incident. Yeah, I banged that little reel up there, and if I'm honest, I'm not that comfortable with it because I actually like Chris and I like Dane, and it's a little bit clickbaity that clip, and far out did it actually work though. There's like 30-something thousand views on the video, but overwhelmingly, I think the opinion would be, say, 75% sort of racing incident, and then 20% Dane's fault, and then some people, I don't know how you could really blame Chris because Chris is in front. So, but yeah, my sort of take on it is it's a racing incident. I don't know if the boys would be pissed at me, but it'd be weird if I did a podcast and didn't have an opinion on it. So yeah, I just feel like I remember watching Chris calm. He sort of like went through the middle of 3 and then like moved up into 4 and just got a monster run like that. The 79 was flying, so he got a monster run. Dane sort of didn't get 3 and 4 how he wanted to, and didn't get the run off 4 that he wanted. Sort of gets for Dane, he would have got to the start finish line and in front by Bees Dick, it looked like. But at that sort of point, I feel like you think if someone had a run on me, they probably would have got me already. He's obviously can't see out the thing. There's the wing and all that. Chris gets that launch and he's got the run. So like he's coming down the outside. There's a gap for it. Like he's not a racer if he doesn't. Like the gap's there, and then as he should, he gets past Dane and he goes to cover the bottom. Like that's what he should do. He's got the run. If he stays up high, it's Dane Kingshot. I know what's coming next. He throws a bomb straight up the inside and tries to slide Chris back. So yeah, Chris has to come down and has to cover, and it just looked like two lads going for the win. Came to the same spot on the track, and Dane was trying to move back up to the top for 1 and 2. Chris has come past him, got a run, and tried to move down, and they've just collected. Like, and yeah, I think there's a little bit of a narrative around that Dane tried to take him out, but mate, I know Chris wouldn't do that. I don't know him. I've spoken to him enough that I feel like Chris isn't a dickhead and a dirty racer, and Dane's not a dickhead or a dirty racer. And yeah, that's my take on it. Not sure if you boys agree or disagree with that. What's your thoughts on that one, Sharpie?
Yeah, it's definitely been talked about, obviously. I feel like depending on what replay you watched, but there's that one where it's like almost directly looking at them head on down the main straight. And like from that camera angle, it's like Chris's car doesn't deviate, like he's kind of holding his line, and obviously, where the Danes left rear off the corner driving towards the fence. But it's like you said, it's hard because they're not. I'm assuming he can't see fuck all out that right hand side of the car. And like
boys, I've driven a sprint car. All right,
Listen to
Not
that.
very far. I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
Yeah, you drove Coilies.
You can't see out the right side of them, boys. Just you boys can't speak on it, but I can.
Yeah. So, it's, and like you said, Dane's probably thinking, they're almost entering at the corner by that point where they make the contact. So, he's probably thinking, well, if someone's coming past me, he's either already going to be past me or he's coming up the inside of me, So,
Yep.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like it was just one of those racing deals, but I'm sure if you ask those two boys, they might have different opinions.
Yeah, well, obviously they would. They're both junkyard dogs who want to win races, mate. So, yeah. What about you, Roy? What do you a great fence sitter, I reckon, but give us an opinion.
I don't know. It's tough. It's when I was watching it. It's just as much. I don't want to be. Obviously, I love Dane's bloke racing against him and everything like that. But where I watched it live, it looked like Dane's fault. But now you see it on the TV and the different angles. It's bloody hard to tell. Like, I think one of the differences, if it was at the start of the straight, you would 100% say that he come up on him. But at the end of the straight, I mean, you're both trying to approach the corner. Like, Coils maybe tried to just cheat it a little bit so there's no chance that Dane can get past him. But Dane's left him enough room. And then Coils like, well, if I just cheated a little bit, in my opinion, he's probably like, I'll just try and cheat it a little bit so then there's no chance he can get by me. And then obviously try and get a bit of momentum and carry off into the distance. But yeah, I think it's just one of them things, man, racing incident.
Yeah. I'm not sure about the legalities, the rules around it, but yeah, my thing is Dane. Yeah, he's come down the straight. He where they are, as he should, he'll be like, no one's come past me yet. I'm moving up. Chris has got a monster run, and he's just got past him and going, well, I need to cover, as he should. Like they both sort of did what they are supposed to do, I think, and they just come together. But yeah, that's my take on it. To Dane go rear of the field, though, yeah, maybe that's a letter of the law, which is fine, but I sort of haven't seen anything quite like that for someone to get sent to the rear for an incident like that. But that's fine. That's the rest of the season. If anyone doesn't get the exact same, well, it's unfair. Which it's going to make it hard. And yeah, Chris Coyle, I feel bad for him because he had a bad night. Like if he doesn't get relegated, I know he started off the front anyway with Mander's car not firing, but he should have been high points. He should have been off pole because I don't feel like he should have got relegated in that heat. And then who knows what happens? Then he gets turned and Bomber gets into him, so that put him out for the night. JK in the 11, the big white and gold thing. Decent night for him. It's better. Like, he's gone from some races last year where he didn't make the feature, but he looked racy all night. It's a step in the right direction for that team. I'm sure they'll be stoked with that. But yeah, it's just still not the JK of old, is it?
Oh, I don't know. There was, I think it might have been on the second or the third restart. I think he might have been in like fourth or fifth, and he started off high out of four, and then as he come down, he like split the middle of two cars, and he must have slid for second. I think it was. Okay. One of them. And I was like, far out. Yeah, this might be the night where he's back. But yeah, no, I reckon they looked pretty good. Probably didn't finish where they would have wanted to because I think he was running in the top three for most of that feature race. But yeah, definitely looked like a step in the right direction for them because I think they've had a chassis change this year too. I think I'm not 100% sure, but
I think they've changed everything over the last year or two.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, they definitely look decent. And yeah,
the only thing to note for Jason's night, and like one incident, he sort of moved down where and caused Michael Keane to spin. I'm not sure if you recall that, but then I just to put him in perspective, Michael Keane again is the victim of this one as well. Caden Manders. Well, Caden's the leader and moves hard left, causing Michael to spin. Caden's rear of the field. JK moves hard left, causes Michael Keane to spin. Nothing. So I feel like I don't know if those two incidents are dissimilar in any way. The leader decides that he wants to go left, which is fine. Like I don't think JK should be sent back, but then I'm just not sure if JK doesn't, or if Manders does, JK does, it's the same incident effectively. The leader can do what he wants, and you have to react to that. He moved down, Keen spun, Manders moved down, Keen spun. I just don't see a difference in those two situations, but there's a difference in people getting sent to the rear. The 7th place, Jimmy Inglis. Mate, he had a dog shit night early. I'm not sure what it was set up or whatever, but mate, he was coming on. He come from deep. And he come from real deep. I was watching him, 13th up to 7th. It probably on paper doesn't look as good, but I reckon at one stage he was trying to pass Dane. Like he's almost going to get a top 5. He's come from a long way back. He raced his way forward. He never makes any dumb mistakes, Jimmy. He never forces gaps that aren't there or anything like that. He passes everyone clean. He worked his way forward, and 7th isn't where he should be. He's a podium driver, podium car. I think Jimmy not stoked with the result, but he'll be stoked with the drive, if that makes sense.
I mean, he definitely stoked with it. It didn't seem to set the world on fire at all night, and obviously come from a long way back and to settle with the top 10. Well, top 8 spot. You can't be too disgruntled by that after first night of the year and car straight, you wash up and you go again.
Well, I reckon he qualified like second last in his group. I'll just have a quick look. But I just remember thinking that his early results, 7th he was, like, so 13.4, he's 0.6 off. Like, he's way better than that. So then that put 7th, it puts him nowhere in the heats. And I'll just, sort of, to dig his way back from where he did, I think he'll be pretty stoked. Like 7th in his heat, like 7th qualifying, 7th in the heat. Obviously, the mid pack didn't go his way either. Really 4th, like he's dug his way out of that. So it's a massive result for him to claw his way back. Yeah, he's better than that. Michael Keane, 8th. He like, I know from speaking with him when he come in here and did the pod, like his goals last year were top 10, and I think that's sort of where it'd be, maybe 1 or 2 spots ahead, but like James Inglis, Jason Kendrick, like that's sort of the people he probably should be battling with. So an 8th for the Kawara Motorsport team, they'll take that and move on. JD Dack, 9th. JD looked fast. Like it seemed to be that feature race was indicative of like what I've seen in Darwin. Some races he looks like he could win. Some races that he doesn't seem to be able to get it going. And the same in that feature race. You reckon that he sort of yo-yoed a bit, like in that heat race that we spoke about with Chris Coyle, mate? He looks like he's as fast as then. And I think Chris Coyle is probably one of the fastest cars all night. And in that heat, like JD's chasing him down and nearly gets him. And then 9th in the feature. And at that open red, which was only a handful of laps to go, I think he was 4th.
Yeah, no, I reckon he was in 4th at that open red. I reckon you're right. And I don't know. He did just look decent all night. So whether like he prefers when the track's like that. But he definitely looked good. Because where did he end up finishing? Sorry,
9th.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
So there's only a handful of laps where he's. But you know what it's like with these pricks, mate. Like you could get freight trained. Like if you just get slid and just put out of position, all these junkyard dogs that are behind you take advantage of it. So might have to go back and rewatch it. He could have just made one mistake, and then all the boys, go lick their lips and chew you up. But yeah, I think he'll be there or thereabouts moving forward. Chad Pittard, obviously, had some time up in Darwin. Had Glenn Beaton, obviously coming up to help him, which is sort of Beato's new sort of business that he sort of started up. Is jumping in and helping out some guys when the fast worms not getting around on the track. But yeah, Chad, top 10 result. Like I guess he'll just bank that and move on. Geordie Johnson probably on the tools, which helps, mate. An absolute wizard with a 916, the great man. Another wingless man of ours, Sharpie.
Yeah, I did see him get an actually.
You see this full meal deal type suit that he's got ordered to wear in 3 weeks or whatever that is? Geordie Johnson, mate. Johnson's Food Services. If you don't mind. Craig Bottrell, obviously, is that his first run, do you boys know, in a 410?
I reckon he's done one before.
Yeah, I feel like he would have done one or two here and there.
But for all intents and purposes, effectively a rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, 11th, sort of. With Chad Pittard, that's what sort of where I throw him in there. Tom Callahan, I think he's had a bit more experience than what you think that, Tom. So I was a little bit surprised with his, but he's obviously feeling it out. He hasn't been in the car for a little bit, but I know he's run a couple of seasons before.
Yeah, definitely. He raced midgets for a few years there for a while and got out of it for a couple of years. Actually, I think the last category he probably would have raced was midgets, and now he's back in the sprint cars 410. So that was probably two years ago, maybe longer. What do you reckon, Sharpe?
Yeah, I reckon probably be a couple of years, but I'm pretty sure he's still been ripping around in a dirt car like recently. So yeah, he's obviously been keeping his hand in it somewhat, but yeah, definitely must have been a couple of years since he's been at Speedway.
Yeah, and then the Highline Motorsports, mate, Cody Clayton. Shout out Bobby. He's had a kid, so congratulations with that, mate. Bobby's a ripper fella, and he spins the tools. He's a crew chief on Cody's car on the 40. Cody said they were a little bit lost. One side of Bobby couldn't be there, given the family stuff, which is perfect, mate. And like Cody said, mate, they want him to be with his kids. So, not 13th. Cody, obviously. Yeah, it's not really the position. He was just saying he wasn't stoked with how he drove and sort of how the car was. It's not the night that he wanted for, regardless of what position he came. He just thinks he could drive a fair bit better. And then after watching him in Darwin, he was up on the wall and he was going good. Like he was driving good. And yeah, that probably didn't translate to his form on Saturday night. What do you think about Cody?
Yeah, I reckon it must be hard going to from a wingless, and obviously he's done a few races there in the 360, but he'll get there. It's just like anything, I guess.
We'll get through this. Brooke Newson, Joe, she came in. She sort of just made her way around for the night. Joe Latham, obviously new to the class, but not new to a sprint car, and had a couple.
That was close there when Callum went around him and Taylor when he spun out with a few laps to go.
He had a couple of spins late. Which is unfortunate. And sort of, it is what it is. He's new to the division. I'm sure he'll find his feet. But Bomber Lancaster collected Chris Coyle there. Caden Manders, obviously, got told to go infield, and I'm sure there'll be stuff going on with that. But all I can say is the Dan Golding Racing team. There's been a few comments online that I think people need to probably pull their heads in a little bit. Some of the allegations that are making that are just probably unfounded. Like I know Liam, Dan, and Caden are exemplary characters. They're not like that at all. They're competitors. And for people to make these allegations that they are probably just unwarranted and unfounded. I think people need to probably just wait to hear all the facts. People like Dan Golding don't come in and run the businesses that he run and put in what they put financially into this sport to be slandered and stuff like that. But I think, and I've spoken to other competitors, and they're adamant that the team needs to be out there. Like Dan Golding Racing brings so much to the division and to the series. Like they're as professional as you get. They present as good as they get. Caden's obviously as good a driver as there is out there. Dan's a ripper fella. He brings the midget as well. Like they do a lot. They help a lot of people out on the track and for the people behind the scenes to be making some of the decisions that are happening, probably don't agree with it and don't think it should be happening. I don't know if we're going to get in any trouble for talking on it, but whatever. We'll just move on. But they're good people, and I'm hoping that it all gets sorted out and sorted out soon. The Jason Pride, just another raw end here. I'm not sure. He just cut down a rear. Went from a yellow to an open red. My understanding of the rules is if you go in on an open red, you can even if it's they call it a partial red, so they don't allow you to make changes. If you make any changes, you just go to the rear of the field, which he needed a left rear which is included in that. He should have been allowed to restart, and they wouldn't let him restart despite the circumstances. Which, again, that rule's
So
been
what? He
applied
changed the tyre under the partial red, and then he wasn't allowed to restart.
Yeah, because I think I'm not. Yeah, and given what it is, maybe it was a yellow or whatever. But yeah, the rules clearly state they're allowed to do what they did, but they weren't allowed to restart. So he had the tire on. He's ready to rock. They've told him you can't get pushed off.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, Jason. Yeah, if anyone knows Jason, he knows his stuff. That's for sure. He does his research, and they've done their research, and they appear to be in the right. So. The tricky one in that is if the officials are wrong with the decision, Jason and Cody Lawrence, the crew chief, their expectation is that rule has to be applied throughout the rest of the year, but the rule can't be incorrectly applied throughout the rest of the year. So they just got to they'll have to change whatever and make the correct decision next time. But Jason and that just have to suck it up. So he gets a DNF. When he shouldn't have, and if he doesn't get a DNF, he probably gets to start behind Brooke Newson, Cody Clayton, and Tom Callahan with the 4 to 5 laps to go, and he's probably a chance to still get top 10. Because he was gone. Where did he get up to? So he's banging on the door of the top 10 anyway. So yeah, they allowed him restart with those laps to go. The field's bunched up. Who knows what's happened? So instead of a potential top 10. If he was allowed to restart like he probably should have been, then it changes the whole outcome of his season. So disappointing for them. Again, another one of these teams that put in and there's people on the hill that sort of wobble their heads around a little bit and make all the comments and stuff like that on these teams' pages as well. But these people put in legitimately millions of dollars into the sport, dedicate their lives, their whole businesses and everything to do this, and to be sort of robbed of Jason's like a top 5, top 3 sort of in the series type operator, and to have that robbed of you at round 1 almost is just disheartening for him. But yeah, unfortunately for them, they're just going to have to suck it up because they can't get their points back. So it's just a shit situation for them. Turkey, do you boys have anything to say on Friday?
Not really. Seemed like I don't know, yeah. Seemed like it was just a long night for him. Even watching that feature when I was up there at the bar with Tommy and that, he just took a while, and then he eventually was starting to make some headway, and then I actually didn't see what happened with that red and that. I just realised that he was no longer there. So I was, that would probably shoot you.
You sitting on the fence, Sharpie? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm trying to think back. Yeah, obviously, I remember now when he got obviously told that he couldn't push off, but just trying to work out. Yeah, there must be a reason. Must be a reason for it. Whether it's something to do with when the yellow was thrown, or is it something to do with the time of when the work area closes? Is it something to do with that, or?
Yeah, well, the work area would have been closed, but then they've thrown the open red, which they've not done a racing lap. They've not even done a rolling lap, almost like it just, it appears that he should have been allowed to restart and maybe he wasn't. So, again, suck it up. They're going to have to deal with it. But then every time that if that happens to anyone else in the year and they get to restart, well, they've got every right to be pissed, but whatever. Cherokee, Aaron Cherkop, mate, the big dog can qualify. Joshua Grizzy, he's got that thing singing early in the night.
Even in the heats, not bad.
Yep. Yeah, mate. Nice. Yep. Yeah, he threw the anchor out a little. I think he started out 3.
Yes. I think he did.
I hope not, because he was 8th at the end of lap 1, so I hope he didn't start at 3. But I reckon he was top 4, because I reckon he was on the front row of the 4 wide.
He started 4th.
Ooh. Yeah, he threw the anchor out. Can't Cherokee lift, mate. You're one of the motocross boys. You can't be doing that to us. Mikey Green looked racy throughout the night. One of the heats, he was throwing some sliders and stuff like that, but he sort of floated in that 15th to 18th range. He's obviously new to the class. I think he'll be fine, mate. Mikey seems like a good little kid. Jai Corbett looked racy as well throughout the night for the
He got about 3rd there at one stage before he
Who are you talking about? Jai. You stop recording. Yeah, Jai. Yeah, Jai was up to
Sorry,
third, mate.
freaking old boys ringing. Yeah, he
What's,
got up
what's
to third,
Mickey
and then
want?
him and Willow. Oh, who knows?
Say
It could
ninth.
be anything. Bit of racking maybe.
Westwide.
But yeah, they
what sort of
are.
operation? What Westwide?
Yeah, he real racking. Get around us. They are. He got up to third, and then him and Jacko come together. Pretty similar. Well, in my opinion, I thought it was a pretty similar incident to what Dane and Chris had. To be fair.
Okay, and with what? Who was Dane? Who was Chris?
Can't really remember now, but I do remember watching it going, geez, it's like almost exactly the same thing that happened again. I don't know.
Yep.
Did you see it, Sharpie?
I remember seeing. I didn't see it went live there. I didn't notice it, but watched the replay, and I think it was Jacko that was on the inside.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
but on the outside. So like you say, like near on identical, but obviously slightly different outcome. So again, how do they call that if they both keep going?
But yeah, good night for the Monty Motorsport team. Obviously, Luke Monty's done everything that he has done in the sport, but the results sort of have been a bit thin lately. But at least the car showed speed. Obviously, first night for Jai in the car. He's a young kid. He's done plenty over in America this year, and I think he's committed to most of the series. So no doubt he'll be back, and he'll be even more comfortable next time he straps in the 17. Jacko Williamson, the MDH Transport, Quinana Meat and Poultry, beef jerky operator. Just a dog shit night, mate. Nothing went right for him the whole night. He had a torsion bar snap in qualifying, and then he had no hot laps. They threw the only bar they had in there, which gave him a reverse stagger for qualifying. Had a steering box go in the heat or the dash, and then obviously, nowhere in the features. So scratch that and get going again on night two. Chris Coyle, probably the hard luck of the night, mate. I think the race was most likely between, him and Manders, Callum and Dane. Like that looked like maybe what it is. I should think the fast winner, mate. He was on there as well, but for Chris to get qualifying done and set his night up as good as he did, and then obviously to have a DNF is a bit gut wrenching for him. But given how last year went, yes, probably, even though it's a DNF, it probably might be the best night he's had in a fair while. You know what I mean? Given the form that he had, he obviously qualified well, won his heat. He should have been top points. He should have been off pole. Without the relegation there in that first heat, but Merger Motorsport, they're back, baby. They got rid of Buddha Payet and they finally hit their straps, mate. Buddha's held them back.
There's no one left, mate, for him. It's all over.
I've got Buddha in my notes here, actually. I got Buddha in my notes, but we need to get through. We're dragging on. Buddha, let me put it in. But lucky Chris. Trent Pigden, he's had a decent off season. Looked really good at Ellenbrook. Won the mid pack. Looked to be doing something, and then obviously a diff let go pretty early on. And then Harrison Pete, I didn't even notice Harrison. You guys even notice Harrison?
No.
Told you. All I know is I got told he's a ripper kid. He'd tie his shoelaces up if they're undone. I reckon he was that nice.
He's a good man.
He is, mate. All right, let's get into the late models. And then we got our awards, and we're wrapping this big girl up, mate. The feature of the late models. I watched the heat races, a little bit hit and miss with who was fast and who wasn't. Obviously, the Oldfields were fast all night, but on a fingernail deep analysis, it almost looks like that's Warren Oldfield's best race that I've seen him have in a couple of years. Like, not often that Jamie, Joel, or Brent Vosbergen has nothing for anyone, and on Saturday night, no one had anything for Warren Oldfield. He left him for dead.
Yeah, definitely.
I actually didn't see the feature, but I think he won by 4 or 5 seconds, something like.
3.988, I reckon.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Give or take.
Give or take a millisecond.
I watched some of the heat races, and that they were good. Like you say, like those Oldfield boys are good in anything that they drive. But I think one of the heat races I've seen with Joe was battling with him, and he got to the lead, and then They were throwing sliders, and I think him and Jason might have come together in one of the heats.
Okay. It looked like a little bit of hip and shoulder, eh?
Yeah, Joe ripped the deck off the thing, and then but yeah, no, good racing from them. But yeah, didn't catch the feature.
Yeah, I watched the feature. It was like just not much going on, mate. Like 4 seconds between first and second to Jamie, then 2 seconds, then 3 seconds. Like Brent Vosbergen's he's fourth. He looked good all night. Joe Chalmers looked average early, to be fair, and then obviously, like you said on the podium, he made a call to someone in America. Just they're obviously a little bit lost and figured something out and come on strong in the feature. And Jamie, obviously second, he's a class act. Jamie, he dominates in nearly everything that the bloke gets in. He dominates in, and him and Joe had a little bit of a battle like halfway through that race. It looked like Joe was going to have something for Jamie, and then Jamie, being the old wily veteran that he is, found something else and just seemed to like move up at the perfect time to block one of Joe's runs and just to halt his momentum a little bit, get back to doing what he's doing. So Jamie moved up a bit late, up higher on the track a bit late, and sort of said he should have done it sooner. But yeah, still not sure. Even if he did, he would have had anything for Warren. Warren was pretty much gone. Smoker Joe Chalmers in the 23. Yeah, again, average for his standards throughout the heats, and sort of booted it home. And yeah, if they start the next round like they finished it, like I think he'll be right there. Big bad bustling Brent Vosbergen, mate. He looked good in his heats. He looked fast real early in the feature, and then sort of drifted back to be about 12 seconds off the lead. And then David Nylander is credited with fifth there. You boys got anything to add with the late model feature before I sort of get through the next sort of names?
Maybe like Bo Oilfield coming seventh. Like
yeah,
that'd have to be one of his first shows, wouldn't it? Surely.
Nah, definitely not, mate.
You don't reckon?
No, he's done. Oh, he's very new. He's very, very new. He's very young.
You were saying like I was a wanker.
Nah, that just makes me feel good, mate. And you, to be fair, show you make it easy. And David Nylander in fifth, Lukey Halliday, Ripper fella in sixth, Bo Oldfield. He's done the Winter Development Series and a few shows and stuff like that last year. Michael Holmes Racing, Peter Walker, Jay Cardi, Abby Pickering sort of gets through the rest of them. Rod Massara won one of the heats and looked good. He's a DNF. The O-Show, Brad Blake got put out early in that race. But yeah, it's just a little bit hard with the late models being at the end. They got the wingless treatment. So, not much happened. It just seemed to be a massive separation in cars. So maybe that was a track. I'm not sure, but yeah, just like big gaps between everyone. So you sort of switch off when you're watching it a little bit. But all right, here we go, boys. We need to get these awards going. Ryan Cricky could probably flip me a message or if anyone's got any ideas, I've got these awards. So it's like I've called it I had it as a muck around thing, the Bunbury Toyota Oh What a Feeling, but that's nowhere near it. So at the moment, we just got best on ground. The person who impressed you the most throughout the whole night, like the actual, like I call it like the Gary Ablett Award when he gets 35 touches and 3 goals. He's still the best player, but you don't think he's had a good night because he usually gets 45 and 5. But who's your Bunbury Toyota best on ground for the night? And I'll start with you, Sharpie, because I reckon you're probably more onto it than the Rosho.
Yeah, like across all the divisions, or
yeah, sort of. Who was your takeaway to when you left the night? Like, who was the driver that you thought, fuck, he had a night?
Yeah, I think it's probably hard to go past Caden in the Speedcars. I'd probably say that was a fairly dominant night. In some pretty good company. So, yeah, I'd probably say, yeah, that'd have to be my pick of the night across all the divisions.
I'll go now because I know the Rosho. I can see his look on his face. He's still researching. I would go Warren Oldfield. I think Jamie, Joe Chalmers, Brent Vosbergen. There's 3 people that have won an Australian title on a late model. Obviously, Jamie's won an Australian title in the street stock, and he's sort of put it to all of them, and they had nothing for him. I think that's as dominating of a night as there sort of was out there in the sprint cars. There's a few things that had happened, and maybe not everyone finished or whatever in the speed cars. Sort of Caden was good, I think, but maybe not as dominating as he's the Australian title holder. But Warren, the second, third, and fourth have all won an Australian title, and Warren beat them all and beat them by 4. Well, he beat all of them by 5, 6, 7 seconds. So I think for me, it's we're going to do that. And Rowie, you got to be the tiebreaker, mate. We're only going to get one name, but Caden Brown or Warren Oldfield, or have you got something that can trump them all?
Nah. I'm just looking at the heat results here. Big warranty from watching big warranty from 9th in the first heat to second, and then front row start 1, and then dominate him in the feature. It's hard to go past that.
All right, we've got it. The Oldfield settlements. Then they got the Ultra Tune still over the late models there, but I think the boys are retired, and I don't think Jamie knows what you're meant to do when you retire. You're meant to not work, but he picked up a job straight away, and he's the curator of the Bunbury Car Club now. So yeah, the track's going to be sharpened right up, I reckon, when Jamie gets down there and works his magic on that thing. The next, the Jolly Good Auto Spark Up. So this is the someone who probably didn't have the night that they wanted, needs a bit of a spark up and needs a bit of a pump up. So what do you got, Roy? Is anyone? Do not say yourself. You just message me and say me for this one, but I'm not gonna.
No, I didn't. You're a wanker.
You did, mate. You did. What do you got? Well, who do you reckon sort of had a night that they want to forget? I think if you need a bit of time, I got one up my sleeve.
Yeah. You go first, then, Ryder.
I think with Kate Amanda's, like I said, I'll probably leave that alone. But I reckon for me, the Jolly Good Auto Spark Up is Chris Coyle. I think to qualify up front, to win your heat, to get relegated, to win the dash, or no, he didn't win the dash or whatever he did. He did good enough to be there. But I think Chris Coyle passed for the lead. I think he needs a bit of a spark up. I think hard luck, man. He could have won the race, but he's sitting on the infield. You guys got anything? Anyone you reckon sort of had a hard luck and needs a bit of a pick me up?
I reckon. I'm just having a look now, but I mean, I think we all agree Jack Williamson's better than what he ran the other night, and obviously, in his terms, he'd say that he ran like a busted ass. And I mean, torsion bar breaking straight away, put you on the back foot, and then you just at the back, and you obviously got shit aero for the rest of the night and all that kind of stuff, and just never really got going in the feature either, and never really fired a shot, which in his terms, I mean, when all the Americans were here, he started on pole for Boxing Day, so for him to go from that to there it's a tough start of the year, but he'll be back.
Sharpie?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
We got Chris Coyle and Jack Williamson so far. Unless you got something to trump them, you need to split them.
Geez, I reckon I'd probably have to go with Jacko, to be honest. I think
right, Jacko it is.
I think that's pretty hard, like you say. Like
Chris has been fucked over again here. See what I mean? Chris can't catch a break, man. Coily. All right, Jack Williamson it is. Yeah, was it torsion bar?
Torsion bar, steering box, split hose in the replacement steering box. Yep. Didn't make it out for the dash, and then ripped the front off it in the feature.
Is that all it was in the feature? Just not the front out?
I think so. I've seen the wing hanging off of it, so I'm assuming it was something to do with that.
All right, the bright light. This one's like the sort of, it's a little bit tougher for me to do. The QV bright light, the qv.com.au, jump on and have a look at the range. They just, mate, some of the products online there just, mate, I love my old electrical stuff, and QV's the best of them. The bright light, almost like the rising star, someone who didn't have any bad luck, but like put in a really good performance and sort of batted above their average. What are you thinking in this, boys? You got anything?
You go first there, Sharpie.
Yeah, I reckon it'd probably have to be or who probably surprised me the most would probably be Bottrell, maybe. I feel like there was one heat race there where I think he might have started on the front row. I'm pretty sure it was the first heat race.
Yeah, yep.
And then, like he held his own for quite a bit of that race, and I think he got past for the lead, and then he slid. I'm not sure who it was, but he slid them back for the lead. So yeah, I reckon.
Chris Cool, mate. This is his vicious incident with Chris I was talking about, where Chris is just absolutely driven through the back of him, mate.
Yeah, I feel like that. That was probably a bit of a standout for me. I think he did, really well for like I said, I don't think it was his first 410 show, but let's call it that.
Yep. Yeah, give or take. I agree with that. Roy, what do you got?
Well, you're going to have to split us this time then, because I'm going to go...
I'll split you any day of the week. Just quiet.
I'll go probably Taylor Milling, because good start of the year, broken his back after last year. You could come back. A lot of people probably always take a step back when it originally comes. You come back from something like that and then goes out there and it's probably just settled in for the night and then just comes on in the feature and doesn't do anything stupid and just chips away at it and bang, there he is, P2.
Well, I'll split you, mate. And the thing that's got me is Jody's, his partner, gave me the pale ale mustard, mate, and it was beautiful little drop. I need a toasted sanger next time I'm there. But all right, we'll go with the fast worm. So we're all aboard the worm wagon.
Yeah, mate.
Toot toot. All right. Yeah, so the Bunbury Toyota BOG, happy to work with another name or workshop another name if you've got an idea. Warren Oldfield, obviously, pantsed him and beat three Australian title holders in that race. The jolly good auto spark up Jack Williamson obviously had a heap of bad luck and will look to rebound. And the bright light Taylor Milling bounced back from a broken back and 4 DNFs last year to have a really good race and sort of keep level pegging with Callum Williamson to come second in the opening round. But we're done, boys. We banged that one out, hour and 40. Really appreciate it, obviously. Cheers, Roy, for coming on. Late call up, mate, but to be fair, haven't got much going on. And Sharpie, big manager of the Rockingham Petters. Appreciate you coming on, boys. Anything else you boys want to add?
Happy days.
No, that's it. See you in a couple of weeks. Yeah,
we're Western Annapolis. We've got some big guests sort of rolling in with the pits. Two AFL players come down that I've sort of mates with from down in Albany. They're going to be rolling around the pits, get them out in the infield, and bring them around. And so if you see us rolling around, ignore them and say g'day to me and try and make me look cool. Appreciate it.
Right, try and make it down, eh? This time,
mate. Me and Lambron, mate, we're just thick as thieves now. Don't hang up, boys. It cancels the recording. All right, thanks, boys. Shout out to the sponsors again, mate. KRM Hot Shots, Jolly Good Auto Electrics, QV, Platinum Tiger Insurance, Bunbury Toyota, TP, All Talk Engineering. Cheers, boys. That.
Of course, you put.